So what we have discussed in our last lecture, we discussed about the yeah. So we discussed about the slider crank mechanism also. Okay. So let me just share the screen now. Yeah, I think it's visible. So we have seen the Grashof law for slider crank mechanism also. Okay, and we could realize that it is very easy. Why? Because we assume that the four bar the slider crank mechanism, which is RRRP, can be considered as the 4R mechanism. When it is considered as 4R mechanism, then easily you can derive the equation which can say that if the linkage is having follow the Grashof law, then there will be definitely two fully rotating joints. And if the shortest link is attached with the ground, that will be the crank. Yeah. So I think all of you are agree with that, right? And finally, we have derived the equation. We have got it as B minus A should be greater than E. If that is the case, then only the shortest link, which is A, which is attached with the ground, can rotate fully. Otherwise, it won't rotate fully. Fine. Now, uh, in the case of 4-bar linkage, the 4 inversions will be there for the slider crank mechanism also. The first case, as you see, in this case, this is the ground, and it is nothing but the reciprocating engine, your conventional engine, in which the piston, this is the piston, it moves back and forth, and hence this crank rotates fully. If this crank is fixed, assume this crank is fixed, then it will become a with what quick return mechanism. And if the piston is fixed basically, and this ground moves, like this particular link one moves inside this fixed piston type of arrangement, then it will act as a hand pump. I have already explained. You can see it as like this. For example, this link number 2 is extended toward this point. Now you move it, what will happen? This link will go back and forth inside this, correct? And hence it will bring the water out. It's a common mechanism available in hand pumps. The next is oscillating cylinder engine, where in this case this coupler is fixed. Okay, and you can see now this particular piston will oscillate when this link will rotate, correct? This is called as oscillating cylinder engine. Now some examples over here I am highlighting. So here you can see in this particular diagram how many links are there. This is the frame. Let me write it as frame, link 1. This is frame, correct? This particular thing moves up and down, and when it moves up and down, it cuts the sheet by applying the shear force over here, correct? So this is our link number 2. Now this is again nothing but the ground, so let me call it 1 again, because this whole thing, this one and this one, they both are ground only. Then this is link number 3, and this is link number 4. I can draw it, the kinematic diagram of the same, and it will look something like this. Now you can see if I push it down, this piston will go down. So what type of mechanism it is? It is RRRP. Fine. So it is a 4-bar mechanism. Of course, it has 1 degree of freedom, but because of the involvement of a piston, definitely prismatic joint, definitely it will be 3RP. Another example, like I said, when the crank is fixed, you can see this the particular example in the case of the door, which is used to open the in the car. Oh, sorry, in the big trucks and all. Okay, so what is happening here? As you see, this is frame. Assume that this bus or the truck is frame 1. Then this particular link can move up and down. So this is going to be link number 2, of course. And of course, this particular link will move up and down in this. There is a piston over here, right? And hence I can, sorry, there's the piston over here, right? And this can move inside this, right? Like this. So I can call it as number 3. And this particular one is nothing but number 4. Correct. Now this whole thing can go like this and close the door. So how many links are there? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it is a 4-bar linkage. So definitely the degree of freedom will be 1. Now let me just show you the video of the same of the third example, which is in version 3, which is the quick return mechanism. So carefully observe. I'm talking about this one right now. This we have seen. This we have seen. Now we are looking at this with what? Quick return mechanism. I should have written here number 3, but it is written number 2. So please avoid this mistake. So you can see here what is happening. This is the crank which is rotating, and the piston is also not attached with the ground. I mean, the prismatic joint is not with the ground. It is with a movable link, with a coupler. So what is the good thing over here? Please wait. I'm in a lecture. I'll call you back. Fine. So did anyone observe anything over here? The motion of this particular tool. Was it the velocity of this tool was same while going backward and coming forward? Or you have seen, I mean, you have observed something else? Rahul Agarwal, what is your comment on that? Rahul Agarwal.
Yes, sir.
So the motion of this particular tool, is it same? I mean, the velocity is same. Do you think in the forward motion and the backward motion?
Mm, no, I guess. No, sir.
Okay, fine. So what is happening over here? Good. Your observation is correct. Its forward motion is slow while the backward motion is fast. Why do we really want it? First, you tell me. Because you might have seen now, I'm sure, in the video which will be which might have been provided to you by the workshop. In that, you must have seen that the shaper, there is a machine called shaper which used to cut the material in the backward motion and the forward motion, and in the backward motion it got just retract. So basically, assume that it is a tool. This black color is a tool. It is cutting material when coming from its pointy side. So when it is going from right to left, it is cutting material. So it is bit slow. While going from left to right, it is fast because it is not really cutting any material in that case. Correct? Correct, na? So in that case, what is happening now? Why it is happening? First, let me tell you. Or you may comment on that. Maybe Sahat Sethi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why it is happening? Can geometrically can you comment on that?
No, sir, I'm not getting it.
Okay. What I am asking?
Sir, the why the velocity is faster and slower, the reason behind that.
Okay. Good. Good. At least you are listening. Good. I'll explain it. Don't worry. Anyone else want to comment on that? Why it is happening? You may raise the hand.
Sir,
Yeah, Garvit.
sir, the component along its direction, so the force component along its direction is more when
No,
when it
no,
is
no,
going
no.
left right.
Not really. In kinematics, first.
Maybe the from the dead point to dead point, sir, the
Yeah.
theta, the
Very
theta
good.
which from left to like while returning, the theta is less, but
Very good.
the
Who is this?
crank has to travel less.
I got it. Who is this?
Snigdh,
Huh?
Snigdh.
Ha, Snake. Good observation. You are right. It is happening. So you see that I'm just it is appropriately posed at the right position. So this is the limiting position of this. I mean, when this crank is perpendicular to this link. Now further it cannot push this tool beyond. Now it will come back. I mean, it will change its position. So let me go back. This is one position. Note that. Okay, let me draw over it. It will be good for you. So this is one position, correct? Fine. Now let me come back. This is another position, right? I think a little bit more. Yeah. So what has happened basically in this angle? Let me call it theta1. The tool moved from left to right. Sorry, right to left. I mean, this is corresponding to the forward motion, theta1, right? In this, it came. Sorry, let me just see it and then let me tell you. Yeah, it goes back from this point to this point onwards. So this is the backward. So I'm sorry for this, right? Let me just redraw it. I said it is the backward motion, correct? So from this point onwards, and then for forward motion, it has larger angle, correct? So which one is larger? I mean, let me draw it if possible, or it got hanged. Okay, fine. It will take some time now. So which angle is larger, theta1 or the angle above? Real, I asked you, right, that time? Real Juneja?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't ask you, I think. Okay. Now, but you tell me, which angle is larger, theta1 or theta2?
I guess.
Let me just draw it again. So there are two angles. One is this one. This is, I'm calling as theta1. Okay. In theta1, it is going back. And in theta2, it is coming forward. Which one is larger? Of course, theta2 is larger than theta1, right? So what is happening basically? In theta1 angle, it is going back. So it is traveling the same distance, d, correct? But that is happening within theta1 angle. And for coming forward, the same distance d is achieved with the motion of theta2 angle. So of course, the portion which is going back, I mean, will be faster, correct? That is why it is called as quick return mechanism, because it's returning faster. Okay. So you can say that the time for cutting stroke divided by time for return stroke is called as theta1 by theta2. It is also known as time ratio. Okay. Please note that. So you can always find out how much time for a given time ratio. You can find out the length of crank and all these type of numericals I may ask in the quiz. Okay. Don't worry, it will be very easy. And that is why I'm not explaining it much. I have already explained the fundamentals behind it. Okay, so you need to just think when such problems will come. It's very common. And I think, don't worry, in the tutorial, we'll cover one of this problem. Now let us discuss about the inversion 3, in which what is happening? If I push this handle down, then definitely this piston will go up. It's a very common mechanism in the hand pumps. This is the third inversion. Fine. We have already seen its video in the first lecture itself, if you recall. Now the last one, which is the oscillating cylinder. In that case, what happened basically? In that case, the piston is attached with the rotary joint with the ground. Correct. This blue link is the ground. Isn't it true that the cylinder is oscillating in that case? So it's quite obvious. This is the fourth inversion. Fine. Now some other examples of pin in a slot mechanism, which is usually very common as the slider crank mechanism. The only difference is this particular joint is higher degree of freedom joint. I mean, it is P2. It is a higher pair. Fine. It may rotate as well as it can slide. So it has 2 degrees of freedom. In a very similar fashion, this also has 2 degrees of freedom. All the pin in a slot mechanisms. So why I'm showing it, they are some very interesting mechanisms. Those are very similar to the slider crank, but the difference is there are 2 degrees of freedom. Like for example, you see this toothbrush mechanism, walking toy mechanism. So these mechanisms are really popular, but really work on the very similar principle like our slider crank mechanism. But instead of a prismatic joint, they used to have a pin in a slot arrangement. So what we have seen till now, we have seen RRR, 4R mechanism. We have seen 3RP mechanism. Now we shall discuss about RRPP mechanism. Okay, and definitely in the end we'll see RPRP, another combination of the same. Already seen, so this is the third one which we are going to discuss now. Fine. So basically, the physical example, when we call it as P, I mean to say there are 2 prismatic joints, right? Definitely the order may be different. Like for example, here it is rotary joint, prismatic joint, prismatic joint. So RRPP, 2 are adjacent, 2 prismatic joints are adjacent. Correct? In a very similar fashion over here, they are alternate. So there is a prismatic joint, then a rotary joint, then a prismatic joint, then a rotary joint. Correct? So this is RP mechanism. However, as there are 2 prismatic joints, I can call it as double slider mechanism. So these are some physical examples of double slider crank linkage and their inversions. First one is Scotch yoke mechanism. What happened in Scotch yoke mechanism? When, for example, this particular is a rotary joint, let me write it as a R. Then there is a piston number 3 and it is attached with the joint B, which is again nothing but R. So this is also a R joint, I mean rotary joint. Then there is a piston which moves up and down in this slot. Okay, but it is a piston, it's not a pin in a slot. It can go up and down. Let me call it as P. And this whole thing, this slot is also attached with this link, and they do not have any flexible joint. They are attached with the welded joint or something. Then definitely it can go inside, back and forth into the frame. This is frame, link 1. So what type of joint it is? It is also a prismatic joint. So what is it? R, R, P, P. Basically, what is happening over here? I am rotating it. This is my input. I am putting a motor over here. In return, what I am getting? Linear motion. So basically, it is to convert a rotary motion to a linear motion. The Scotch yoke mechanism. Correct? Continuously it was rotating and it will back and forth move like this. Correct? Fine. Another one, the other example of the double slider crank mechanism and its inversion is the elliptical trommel. All these 2 examples at least you might have seen in the theory of machine laboratory demos. Okay, what happened here? Let me just try to explain. So for example, there is a piston over here, and don't worry, for this case I'll show you the video as well. There is a piston here and there is a piston here as well, and it is connected with the link number 2, and there is a rotary joint here and a rotary joint over here. So let me write it properly. This is nothing but a rotary joint, where this particular link 2 is attached with 3 slider through a rotary joint. Okay, so let me just draw it for you. This is link number 2. It is attached with a piston or a prismatic joint, arrangement through a rotary joint. Then it is into the frame. This is the frame, and it is a prismatic joint. Okay, so let me write, this is a rotary joint, and this piston moves in this frame, and it is a prismatic joint. Then again, this link is attached with a piston, and this piston moves in horizontally along with the frame. That means it is a rotary joint, and This piston is attached with the frame and hence is a prismatic joint. Correct? So what kind of arrangement it is? What kind of arrangement it is? Who will tell this? Anyone, please. What kind of arrangement it is? RRPP or
RR.
RPRP?
RRPP.
RRPP. Fine. Because there is a rotary joint and rotary joint adjacent to each other, and prismatic joint adjacent to each other. So it is RRPP again. Fine. Now, if you observe here carefully, if I extend this link beyond a certain point, assume that this is the point C, which is nothing but the extension of link 2, and its coordinate is x comma y. Means this distance is x and this distance is y, of course. Then I can say x will be nothing but BC cos theta at a particular angle. So I am talking about at an angle theta. This particular arrangement is we are seeing at a time t when this link is making an angle theta from the x-axis. So this is x-axis. Let me write it also. And this is y-axis. Assume that. Okay, it's vertical. Huh? Fine. So if this is angle theta, then of course this BC, this distance and cos theta will be the x component, of course, and BC sin theta will be its y component. Oh, sorry, from here itself. So from AC, this much will be the y component. Okay, this much, and it will be nothing but the entire length AC sin theta. Correct? So what can I do? I can just square and add these two, and finally I'll get this equation. So this is showing the locus of this point. So what is this equation? This is nothing but the equation of an ellipse with a center of at 0, 0. Fine. And its major and minor axes are obviously, you can find out from here, right? The major axis will be nothing but AC, and the minor axis will be this will be the major axis and this will be the minor axis. Correct? Do you have any doubt in this elliptic terminal? Okay, let me ask you first. Have you seen this mechanism in theory of machine lab?
No, sir.
No, sir, not yet.
Not yet, but definitely you'll see. But don't worry, I am going to show you the video of the same. That will make it easy to understand. So what is happening here? I am taking any point and it is showing the locus of the point, and it was nothing but the a circle. Okay. Now I'm talking about something else, but you just observe till this point. Okay. So you see that I'm taking a point over here. It is making a circle. I can extend it, and then also I can see it will make a circle outside this. Fine. Now, Harsh, can you tell me, is it possible that any point xy on the crank can also generate a circular motion instead of elliptical?
Sir, if the major and minor axes are equal, then it will be a circle, right?
Yeah, of course, but is it possible? Can I get a point on this link in such a way that instead of getting a circle, I get a circle. Sorry, instead of getting an ellipse, I get a circle as the locus. Fine. You think about it.
The center point.
Think about it. Anna? Yeah. So it may be a question in the quiz. Huh? You think about it. It's very easy. Just take a pen, paper, and check. Yeah, Gainendra, you were saying something, I guess.
Sir, I was saying
Yeah,
that the center of the rod will generate a circle, but I will think again on it. Yes, I will try to show it mathematically.
Yeah, that will be better. Shreya.
Sir, I don't think so it will make circle since BC is a part of AC.
BC is a part of the fixed geometry, you are saying, correct?
Yes, sir.
BC is this distance, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And it depends where I'm C is. If I take a point, Shreya, listen, it is possible. If I take a point C, which is at equal distance from B as well as from A, in that case, what will happen? AC will be equal to BC.
Yes, sir.
Where
Okay.
that point will be? Yeah, Shreya, where that point
Yes,
will
sir.
be?
In the midpoint, like,
In the midpoint,
okay.
correct? Midpoint of this rod. So it is.
Even
It
by
may be.
the even by the argument of symmetry, we can say that all other points are equivalent. If we take any
Exactly.
other point, it will be equivalent. But middle point is different, so it must generate a circle.
Definitely, because I just said that on the link, but like Gyanendra rightly pointed out, you can take anywhere. Why not?
Okay, sir.
I'm not sure about this argument. This is what you said, right, Gyanendra?
Yes, sir. Means all other points are equivalent. Like there are infinite points on this rod, right? And if we take any point, it must generate an ellipse. So there must be a different point which must generate a circle, and that can be only the center because that's only different.
Yes, definitely that will be on the center itself. But I am asking, if I assume that this link has a triangle and there is a point which is at equal distance from B and C, which could be here as well, then also the argument is correct.
Mm.
I'm asking. May not be in that case. You need to check. Fine. Vedant. Vedant, you are saying something. Okay, I'm not able to hear you, Vedant. Okay. Vedant, we will discuss later, maybe. I was not able to hear you. Fine. Now, let me just tell you the importance of elliptical tremel. Its importance is that you can create Oldham coupling. Fine. What is Oldham coupling? I'll just briefly explain to you. I'll come to that point. So this is the physical example of Oldham coupling. It is nothing but an inversion of double slider crank mechanism, which is used to connect two parallel shafts whose axes are offset by a small amount. What is the meaning of this? As you can see here, there is a shaft which is connected in this frame, and there is another shaft. I want to transmit the motion from this shaft to this shaft. Now, how do I couple? If they are properly aligned, if they are, collinear, these two axes, then no issue. I could have welded this and I can transmit the motion. But as they are not aligned, I need to create a flexible coupling in that case so that it can accommodate this gap. In that case, the same inversion which I have just shown you can help. Now you have to carefully see. This is a very, very interesting video. Okay, the same thing. Only thing, it will be a different inversion. I mean to say, instead of fixing this blue color link, what will happen if I fix the yellow link? You need to observe, but observe very, very carefully. Okay, I'm playing this video again. Right now, it is nothing but the elliptical tremel. The slider is moving up, the bottom slider is going left to right, and the top one is going up and down. Now let us fix the yellow link and see how the mechanism is working. Isn't it correct? It is nothing but a different inversion of the same. Now this thing is going up and down. This is the side view of the same thing. Now very interesting thing will happen. What if I just take, there are two pistons, right? If you recall this, there were two pistons. This one red, this one red, which was moving up and down, and this was going back and forth. So right now, they both are on the one side of the blue link. But what if they both are on opposite side of the link? Then also the same thing will happen, and this yellow link will become a C kind of thing. Okay, you carefully observe. Right now it is on, both are on the one side. This is the side view. Now what I'm doing like this. Yellow link is still yellow, but it is a seed kind of link, and there are two on the other end. Correct? When they both are accessible, I mean the axis of both are same, then nothing will happen. It will move as it is, no issues. But if there is a mismatch in the axis, then something else is going to be happen. You see that? The front view, side view will show you what is happening. So the center part which moves up and down in such a way that it can transmit the motion between the two parallel shaft, but not collinear. Correct. Okay, so this is called as Oldham coupling. Now let us solve this
Sir.
problem. Yeah.
Sir, why were we not able to weld the two?
Okay, you weld it, then what will happen? Wait a minute. Let me just show it. This is the shaft, right, Garvit?
Yes.
It is rotating. It is rotating. Like this, it is rotating. There is another shaft over here. Okay, you tell me how you will weld first of all, and what will happen when you will weld it. Now you want to rotate this shaft from this shaft. How will rotate? What do you want to do? Tell me. You put a block over here and weld, right? That is what you are suggesting, right?
Then they will not rotate. Means one will not rotate.
Exactly, Garvitji. Any other solution then?
Sir, conveyor belt. Sir, simple belt.
Belt is fine, but that makes noise. This is a flexible solution. Good, I got your point. Belt and all can be used. Belt, gear, many things are there. This is one of them. Fine, it is quite efficient.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good, Garvit. Good you asked. Okay, now who will solve this problem? I mean, all of you have to solve this problem. This is the last thing, and then the lecture, this particular thing will be over. And in the coming lecture, we shall discuss about the some important mechanisms, and that will be the last lecture for module 1, most probably. Okay, so maybe tomorrow. Determine the transmission angle for 4-bar mechanism whose link lengths are A2 equals to 4, A3 equals to 8, A4 equals to 6, and A1 equals to 7. Shortest link A2 should be adjacent to the frame A1, of course. Who will solve it? Solve, all of you please solve, and then raise the hand when you solve. First, Kunal Garg. Kunal Garg.
Yes, sir.
Does it follow the Grashof law?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. In that case, if A1 is the frame and A2 is connected with the frame through a rotary joint, then Niyati Aditya Atul.
Yes, sir.
What kind of 4-bar mechanism it will be?
Sir,
You are
I don't
here.
know.
I don't
Yes,
know.
I am.
means?
I am.
Why you don't know?
Sir, I've not been doing previous classes.
Then you must be checking the lectures, the recorded lectures, right?
Yeah, sir. I will be doing that now.
You are doing now, and you know that then you will form a group, and then you will all complain that we are heavily loaded, right? You are not doing the things on time, and then you will complain to us that, sir, Yeah, you are giving lot of load.
No,
Right,
sir, I will
Aditya?
not do that definitely. No, sir, I will not do that definitely.
Fine. I'm noting
Sir,
down your
you-
name. We are going to talk. It's fine, Atul. Aditya. We will discuss today. Okay. Okay,
Sir, if
Parth.
the ans-
Yeah, I'll come to the answer. Wait, Gyanandra, you are good student. Please wait. Parth,
Yes, sir.
tell me what kind of 4-bar mechanism it will be, as
Sir,
A1, A2 is attached with the frame.
it will be crank rocker.
Very good, Parth. Then tell me the answer. Who will tell the answer first? Rahul or Richa Kumari? Wait, Richa Kumari.
Yes, sir.
Please
Sir,
tell me
I'm
the answer.
Yes, sir.
Calculating. Okay, go ahead.
So
go
can
ahead.
I tell the expression like cos theta is equal
Yes.
to 8 square
Cos
plus
theta.
6 square?
No, that is
Uh,
okay. Wait, let me also draw them.
solve it and
Uh,
tell it to you.
No, you may not have calculator, na? I know that. Do you think there could be two different answers, Harsh?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
One is a
Okay.
maximum angle and one is a minimum. No?
Yeah, of course, but fine. Anyway, did I ever mention that? Fine. We have mentioned in this problem that A2, the link A2 should be adjacent to the frame which is A1. I mean to say, I can draw it like this. Look carefully. This is my frame. That is for sure. Frame is A1. That is 7. Okay. Then there is a crank. Of course, this is crank. It is attached with this. This is 4. Now, what is rocker? I have not mentioned that, right? There are two possibilities that I connected like this. I mean to say this is 6, this is 8, right? Or I connect it in another way because I have not mentioned anything. That is why I'm saying. Or did I mention? This is 6 and this is 8. Correct, na?
So, but anyways, the answer will be same, no?
How?
So, because the max and minimum cases when there will be when 4 and 7 are collinear, right? So,
Which collinear?
4 and 7 are on the same line.
You want to? Anyone want to correct? Ankit Oja, Vishal Yadav.
Sir, the transmission angle is always the angle between the coupler and the output link, right?
Yeah.
So we have two cases, maxima one and minima. So maximum is coming to be 102 point something 285 degree.
Okay then.
Yes,
Fine.
yes, same answer, sir. But where was I wrong?
Yeah. You said 2. Harsh?
Sir, I'm getting the same answer as Gyanendra. Max is 102 degrees and
No, I am saying, did you say 2? Minimum and maximum both you are getting, right? For both the cases, it will be same, right?
no, sir, it will not be same. For these two cases, it will be same, I guess.
Yeah. No, I am asking the transmission angles. They will be different, and of course,
it won't be same.
Yeah, but no, does it make any sense if I replace this 8 with 6?
No, sir, it does not make any sense. Both the cases are same, almost the same.
Okay. Not almost, same.
Same.
Okay. Who else? Kunal Garg, you got the answer?
Sir, I got the expression, but I don't have any calculator.
Okay. Fine. Okay. But and I believe that you should have your calculator ready all the time because we may do the tutorial class also, na? Fine.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
next is if the quick return ratio is 2:1, then what is the length in that case?
The 500 cos 60,
Solve it.
250.
Yeah. I mean, draw it and solve. Which length I am asking? First, you tell me.
The crank.
It is not written, right? How do you know that I am asking crank length? Yeah, of course, I am asking this length. Correct. How did you calculate?
So keeping it at the dead end, it will be forming the OSP will be forming 90 degree, right?
Yes,
And
this has to form a
since
90
the
degree.
ratio is
Correct.
2:3, so
This is 90, right?
yes, sir.
Correct.
And
Okay. And this is
POS,
500. This length is 500. Correct.
if POS is theta, then the above angle will be 2 theta.
P and this is S. Correct. Fine. So this is half, right? Half angle.
Yes.
Now the ratio of the above angle and this has to be 2:1. Correct?
Yes.
Fine. That means, okay, solve it. Solve. Let me not solve it completely. Nikhil Kumar, is it clear, the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is A?
So solving.
Solving. Assume this is theta2 and this is theta1, the bottom one. Then you tell me. Complete angle, total angle I'm telling. What is given to you? Theta2 by theta1 is given to you. How much it is? 2/1. Correct? What else you know? This is equation 1. Right? How can I get the another equation between theta1 and theta2? Patil Ritu. Ritu Patil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. How? What is the another equation between theta and theta2?
So I got this equation.
Theta2 by theta1 equals to 2. That is fine. It is given to you.
Yes, sir.
Correct, na? But I need one more equation to find out theta1, theta2. You don't know?
Theta 1
Oh.
plus theta 2 equals to 360.
Oh, okay,
I
ma'am.
know.
Yes,
Wait,
sir.
Ganendra, wait.
Sir,
Okay,
I
then.
got that. Theta is 120. Yeah, actually.
Okay, theta1 plus theta2 is also 360, right?
360.
Yeah, theta1 plus theta2 is 360. Then you can find out what? Easily. You just put it here. Theta2 equals to 3. That means theta2 is nothing but 120. Correct? And hence your theta1 will be, you can easily get it, right? Is it correct or not? I made many mistake. No, theta1 is. This is theta1. All of you agree with this? If theta1 is 1 degree, 120 degree, then how much will be this angle? How much is this angle? Ritesh Ranjan.
60.
Okay, good. 60 then. If it is 60, then what will be this length?
250.
A. How can I find out?
500 cos 60. Yeah, I think 250.
Okay, so yeah, I know the base and I need to find. Yeah, so definitely it will be a cos theta I have to apply. Yeah, so A by 500 equals to cos 60 is 1 by 2, right? 250 is the answer, right? Harsh, what did you get?
Yes, sir, same answer, sir.
250, na? So easy question, right? Done. Do you have any doubts? Okay, what we have seen. Let me just summarize. In this, we have seen different configuration of 4-bar mechanisms. We have seen 4R mechanisms, and we have discussed about the motion limit for Grashof law. We have also discussed about the crank rocker mechanism, double crank mechanism, double rocker mechanism, and also we have seen for 3RP, RRPP, RPRP mechanisms and their inversions, where we discuss about the Oldham coupling, elliptical Tremel, and also the Scotch-Yoke mechanism. Correct. Now we shall just briefly, yeah, you haven't doubt, let us discuss, or I'll just move to our last part of it. Yeah. Anyone? Okay, fine. In that case, let me now discuss about some very important mechanisms. So this is the next part I'm discussing of module 1, which is the miscellaneous mechanisms. First one is straight line mechanisms. Okay, there are several straight line mechanisms like Fuselier mechanism, Hart mechanism, Scott-Russell mechanism, Grashofer mechanism, Watt mechanism, Chebyshev mechanism, Kemp's mechanism, and Roberts mechanism. Correct. So what are these mechanisms basically? Let us just go through of each. So this is the first one, which is popularly known as Fuselier mechanism. Okay, how does it look like? It looks like this, as you are seeing in this diagram. The in that case, when this crank rotates, which is OQ, when it rotates, it creates a circle like this, of course, and this point P, it moves in absolute straight line vertically. Okay, but some constraint must be there, like OA should be equals to OQ and AB should be equals to AC, BP should be equals to PC, BP, I mean, all these links, BP, PC, CQ, and QB, they have to be equal. So all shown in yellow color should be equal, blue color should be equal to each other, and red color link should be equal to each other. Now, quickly, who will tell? Vedant. Vedant? Can you hear me? Vedant is not here. Okay. Fine. Rahul. Okay, all of you calculate the degree of freedom of this. What is the mobility of this linkage? First of all, you tell me.
Sir, by logic or by formula?
No, formula. Yes, Vedant. What is the answer? Degree of freedom. I can see Vedant, you are here. What is the degree of freedom of this linkage? And Vedant also said something in the chat box. He's saying it is not the equation of. Okay, fine. I'm sorry, Vedant. Very good point. Now it is correct. I made a mistake. You need to square and add. Nah, so of course this will be x square and this will be y square. It is written wrongly. It's a typo. Yeah. So degree of freedom. Who will tell me? Who will tell me? Shreya. Sorry. Yeah, Shreya.
Sir, I'm calculating. 1 minute.
Calculate. Okay. Shyam Sundar Chauhan.
Yes, sir. It's coming to be 1.
Okay. How many links are there?
Sir, total 8 links.
Okay. So n is equals to 8. Correct.
Yes.
And P2,
Yes, sir.
how many P2?
Sir, 10.
P2 or P1?
No, sir. P1. P2 is equal to 0. P1 is equal to 10.
Okay. Then F is, Shreya, how much it is?
1.
1. So right. 21 minus 20. Tushar Bajaj, you got the same answer? Tushar Bajaj. Okay. Fine, Sumit, note down. Vishal Yadav?
Yes, sir.
You got the same answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, you tell me, maybe Yash can tell me, how can I prove that if this crank rotates, OQ rotates, then this P is always moving in a straight line? What is that thing? If I prove that, it will be proved that the P is moving in a straight line. Anyone? We are not going to prove it today, okay? But we shall see day after tomorrow. Means in the coming lecture. I'll just show you the video first how it works. So see that when this is rotating, I mean this red link, then definitely this particular point is always moving in a straight line. Correct? These mechanisms are very, very important, let me tell you. And it moves absolutely in a straight line, perfect straight line. So what I need to prove basically, somehow by geometrically looking into the mechanism, if I prove that the distance between A and P dash, which is nothing but the projection of this point P at a time t. Okay, if this distance d is always a constant means I need to just prove somehow that the distance AP dash is nothing but a function of this constant. I mean, if I write AP dash equals to, I can calculate it by these fixed linkages. So if I could do that, then definitely it will prove that AP dash is a fixed length. That means the projection P dash. Correct? That means it is going to move in a straight line all the time. Correct? So that we will see in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, and this is about the peculiar mechanism. Similarly, we shall discuss other mechanisms also. If you don't have any doubt, you may stay or you may leave. Thank you very much.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, is there any fundamental method by which we can design such mechanisms?
Yeah, not really. But yes, why not? If you can come up with some method, it could be a good, I mean, research. Good contribution. Harsh, think about it. So there are what I have listed only. Yes.
Sir, in assignment, we are asked to write the planar mechanism, name of the planar mechanism. So, will it be like the name of the, like this one, peculiar? Like I have seen the straight line mechanisms in the cycle one. There are so many straight line mechanisms. So
Mhm.
we have to write the name of the the peculiar mechanism and
I
all.
think so. I might have asked. Yes, whether it's a peculiar mechanism or Chebyshev mechanism, you need to identify. But that you can do only after this lecture. So wait till tomorrow. Then you finish that particular question.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, one question was there like this. Yes, not
Sir,
many,
and
right?
one more thing, in the last question you have asked to
Yeah,
make a video of yes sir, of the mechanism, but
Mm.
I could not get any mechanism near by my home, or
Snigdh, you have to look very, very carefully. Mechanisms are everywhere. Everywhere. That is why I give 15 examples from YouTube. Exercises, I give 2. Can't you do other exercises and bring the mechanisms to me? Don't tell me this.
Yes, sir.
Mechanisms are everywhere. That now I'll note down your name. You will not give me the exercise. Huh? Find it. Find the real life mechanism. They are everywhere. Fine.
Okay.
And don't
Okay.
ask me if I'll say na, then your possibilities will reduce. If I'll give you example, then I don't expect that example from you. So you find.
Okay.
It's very easy. It's not that difficult. Fine. Like let me ask Harsh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you found any mechanisms nearby?
Sir, I'm still finding. I think I can see one.
No issue. Anyone else has found? Raise the hand. Okay, all are leaving.
Sir,
Okay,
sir,
no issue.
I got it.
You got it, Snigdh. Good.
I can
You
get
have
it in my basement also. Yes, sir.
Go to basement then. Why not? Go to
Yes,
road.
sir.
Where are you from?
I'm from we have bikes and all, like we can get that. And
Of course, you are in Dhanbad.
yes, sir.
Don't worry, you will get many. It's a quite happening city. Go outside and find. Why not? Snigdh?
Sir, any mechanism in a car or something that can be done, right?
Anywhere. No restrictions.
Okay, sir.
Think freely.
Okay, sir.
That is the question for thinking.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil. Fine, Sumit. कौन था? एक जो नहीं बोला?
आज तो से बस एक वेदांत का ही नहीं हो रहा था ना, मतलब वो तो चैट पे आ गया था बाद में।
एक और था। चलो छोड़। ठीक है। Anyway, ठीक है। Thank you, Sumit.
Okay.